I at least am not proposing anything, but it's just that this is, links to your history, and I know that I wouldn't want, even though I've tried to put everything about Smith City for myself behind, I know I wouldn't like anybody keeping information from me about it, so I just thought we agreed that it was the right thing to do to talk to you about it, come what may.
Okay, well, no, thanks. I appreciate good of y'all to let me know. I guess I just have to decide how I feel about it. I mean, I didn't come here to just throw it all away and go back, but I guess there's just some things that I need to resolve in some way with my sister, at least. And who knows if I can, I don't know. I tried so hard.
What's up with your sister? Because you guys have put up with my sisters left, right, and center. And I know we don't know anything about, I don't know much about your sister, or at least things have gotten a little hectic and I can't remember the details.
Well, it's been a long time since we talked, but she got her political career started off testifying against me. And we haven't really talked since then. But I may write her a letter because, some words have to be said.
I'm just imagining a letter in classic Hillfolk diction. Dear Sis, it has been a long time since we spoke, but there are some words that just have to be said.
Yeah, that's right. Well, anyway, it's not really anything I would want to burden you with. Although, Star, do you know a guy named? Does Star know my business partner?
I don't know. I don't know if I have. I don't know him except through you. If I do, then it's through the store.
I do kind of wish, trying to put some things together. It would be interesting if someone who's good at finding things out, leaving aside prior performance.
I was going to say, maybe you could have some words with these two objects.
Yeah. If only there was some way I could persuade them.
Yes.
But if someone who had a inclination for finding things out were to hang around the store a little more often,
and perhaps look at the business dealings in the fullness of the business operations that go on here. Right.
Yeah. Well, to get down to brass tacks, I mean, if you were to say, if you were to fancy taking a job as a catwalker, I could put you on the books. And I do have a lot of wealthy women coming in here with their cats, and who knows what their husbands do. So, or what they do. I guess, I don't know how patriarchal the Elven Empire is. But
it has an elven queen empress, but I think it is also still patriarchal.
Yeah.
But
it could be a good way for you to make some contacts with people who pull levers.
Mm-hmm. I would appreciate that. I can do that, and also learn a little bit more about the fullness of your, the big picture of, your business partner's role in all of this. Matter of fact, why don't I say, looking around, why don't I just take a look at inventory? Always a good place to start.
Go ahead.
I'd like to make a search check, Ross.
You're looking for actual physical inventory. It's not going to be there's another role which I bet you do if you're looking at the books. But okay.
No, I'm not looking in the books. Christabel just looked in the books, and I am fully aware that anything she found in there has been accurately assessed. I'm interested in the actual physicality of it all. So
go for it. Yes,
I'm going to go looking in the cellars and looking in the cabinets and looking in the sheds and spend a good solid time checking this place out, with an eye, of course, toward such inventory as might not make it into the books properly. Because I'm starting to get a real sneaky suspicion. Oh, this is the kind of thing I like when I make my search check, which is over there at a 12. And I go right on up, and I do not quite make the awesome, but I do get a superior result.
Okay.
So you guys both may be startled at the, why are you looking in there? Oh my God, so that's where people keep that stuff. Yes, it is.
So,
I can just see her hands on her hips. She looks around and goes, okay, behind that curtain. So what do I find, if anything, Ross? Is he clean? Is he clean as the driven snow, or is that a bad metaphor?
Or is there a lot of driven snow behind us?
Right.
Yeah.
Yes, you're going to find something. I think what it should look like. It's all wrapped up in leaves, isn't it? There's little bundles of folded leaves.
Oh God, little packets. I love it. Go
on. With various dried substances and powders and things like that. You'll need to do a plants roll of some sort to work out what's in them all. I'd like to do that.
Wow. Even a subpar roll gives me a good result on my plants roll. Finally.
Okay.
Yes, I am poking through the plants, and I say, hey, girl, come over, take a look at these, because she's plant mistress too.
Yeah, well, if you called girl over, I could maybe do an assist on that. I mean, I think
yes, do that.
Yeah.
On my plants as well. Poor result on my.
Okay. You've got a monster roll too, so that must have been a really shitty roll. So, okay. I will just say that I did a good result then, and that I at least know what I'm looking at. So.
Yep. So let me just tell you what is there. So there are very obviously some dried mushrooms of a grey mottled variety, which are bee steel mushrooms. Girl will be familiar with those.
Mm-hmm.
I imagine if you're dealing drugs to the sort of elderly ladies who come in with their cats to the shop, then
they need their leveling off, settling down after their little helpers, right? Little helpers first, then the settle down after.
And then there is. And then there's definitely. Recognize that. There's some dried flowers with blue and white petals, which you recognise as banewort. Banewort is known to cause hyperactivity, talkativeness, and pinpoint irises.
Well.
There are also some red flowers that you don't recognize.
Ooh, those must be rare and special. Okay. Well, I'm going to certainly do my best to put it all back the way it belongs. And I shall point out to Christabel that I have learned a great deal about her business. That you are the proud part owner of a laundry establishment.
Well,
in that whatever he's investing is certainly a way to manage whatever he's made. And furthermore, this is a fine way for him to appear to be employed, busy, and interactive with his clientele. Now, I have no moral objection to any of this, but it seems to me as though he's not exactly going to be very helpful when it comes to making your part of the business successful or sustainable, or he's getting a lot more out of it than he's given, is all I'm saying.
Well, I already knew that. I just want to know if I'm on the hook for anything.
Oh, okay. Somebody give me a customs roll.
Ooh, ouch. I've been trying to get better at that.
Not me, if you don't mind.
Oh, but look at this. The dice finally turn when it has nothing to do with thiefly stuff, really. Although this is kind of thiefly. I get on an 8, I get another superior result.
Cool. So
More of a data analyst, really.
No, I was going to say. I mean, this is like working at the analytics branch.
Right.
So I guess I put all the pieces together, and if I had sticky notes, I would use them.
I was mainly making you make this customs roll for the context of illicit drug dealing in Tourmaline and the Elven Empire more generally, to get an idea of how serious it is that he's dealing drugs out of your premises, which is what Christopher was interested in. And somewhat arbitrarily, I have decided that it's mainly a concern for the religious authorities who don't approve of all this drug taking, rather than necessarily being terribly illegal. I mean, these are elves, all this plants and getting high on things, they don't necessarily object. But the more staid religious authorities within the city might well disapprove.
So the secrecy has more to do with potential loss of prestige than for social approval.
Not entirely, bearing in mind, although we don't have clerics in the as a D&D sort of thing in Legendary Lives, I'm sure that religious authorities are able to exert force and power in some way if they choose to do so. So,
okay.
Equally, though, the other thing to bear in mind is that none of these substances are being traded and dealt with through official channels, so no one is paying the right tax on any of this.
Right.
Right.
The right cuts, the proper cuts are not being made, I imagine. Was there any of that wonderful weed? I use the term non-specifically, of course. In other words, the stuff that girl had, is there any of that in here?
There's no lion herb.
No lion herb. Okay, that's an interesting point.
Some lightnings.
Okay, so at least we know that the fields that you inadvertently didn't, outright steal from, but nonetheless acquired when the owner didn't want you to, that stuff is not directly connected to Spring Lightning's activities here. So that's nice.